This is Theory, and welcome to Aviation 102, Symbology and Sounds, the second video in the Aviation tutorial series where we'll look at how to fly jets in Battlefield 3. In this video, we'll break down the different elements of the HUD and the sounds that you hear in the jet. Today we'll go over HUD symbology, the air radar, and the sounds and HUD messages you'll see in the jet. So let's start off with the HUD symbology. To any new player, hopping into the jets can be a real challenge. Trying to understand all the symbols and numbers that the HUD throws at you, and sometimes that's enough to discourage anyone. So we'll look at the different symbols, talk about their functions and how to use them, and then go over the numbers. Let's start with airspeed. If there's anything that you take from this video, just remember, airspeed, airspeed, airspeed. Airspeed is life, and the magic number to flying in Battlefield 3 is 315. If you can maintain your speed around 315, you'll turn faster, loop faster, and be able to generally outmaneuver any opponent. This box number on the left side of your HUD is your airspeed. Normal cruise speed is in the 340s, and when you light up the burners you'll accelerate to the 420s. The box number on the right side is your altitude. You'll be able to break most locks from the ground above 650 to 700. The targeting icon here is your gun cross. That tells you where the nose of the aircraft is pointing, and generally represents where your gunfire will go. Sometimes you'll see the gun cross moving around the HUD in this circle, the targeting circle. This is to help you compensate your aim for the aircraft's flight path, and you can see this happen in turns, climbs, or descents. The bar next to the gun cross, while in rocket mode, is the rocket range bar. This tells you where your rockets will hit once they are fired. It moves around the HUD during turns, climbs, descents, and as well as airspeed changes, just like the gun cross does. You should place this bar over your target to get the most effective rocket attack. The circle with the three lines is called the velocity vector, and it tells you where your plane is actually flying. You can get pretty advanced talking about this, so we'll just leave it at that. On the right side of the HUD, you have your active countermeasure and its current status, either ready or wait. This text at the bottom of the HUD tells you what weapons mode you're in, guns, heat seek, or rockets. These lines are your pitch attitude bars. It tells you how nose high or nose low you are. The scale at the top is your heading scale. It tells you what magnetic heading your plane is flying. Along the bottom, we have the roll indicator. It tells you how much bank your plane is flying in. These three numbers on the bottom left are the VVI, vertical velocity indicator, which tells you how fast you're climbing or descending. The Mach number, which tells you how fast you're moving in relation to the speed of sound, and the current G-forces your aircraft is maintaining. Next up, we have the air radar. The air radar is the #1 tool that's going to bring your jet gameplay to the next level. Most skilled Battlefield 3 pilots use this to increase their SA, situational awareness, on other aerial vehicles. With the inability to look around in first-person view while maneuvering the jet, the air radar fills the gap for DICE's poor flight system. However, you shouldn't be flying solely based off what the air radar is telling you. Learn to fly by looking outside and try to anticipate your enemy's movements, and then reference the air radar to see if the movements match up. The air radar presents a two-dimensional top-down view of the battlefield and displays relative bearing to enemy jets and helicopters. It will tell you which direction your enemy is flying, and with practice, what type of maneuver he is doing. Another lesser-known fact of the air radar is the actual range of the radar. This almost exactly matches the lock-on range for most air-to-air missiles. So if you can fly away from a jet or helicopter that's trying to lock onto you, and you can move them out of the range of the air radar, you'll most likely break the lock. Next up, sounds and HUD messages. Understanding the different sounds a jet makes is important. A lock-on sound is different than a missile warning sound, and each requires a different countermeasure or maneuver to defeat. So we'll start off with the most uncomfortable position, the jet being targeted. The first sound that you will hear is a radar warning sound. This tells you that someone's trying to lock onto you, either another jet, a SOFLAM, mobile AA, you name it. And on the HUD, you will see a flashing lock indication. Next is the acquisition tone, which means that the enemy has a solid targeting lock on you and can fire whenever they want. This is indicated by a solid lock on the HUD. Once the enemy has fired, you will hear the missile warning tone. It means that the missile is inbound and is tracking your aircraft. When you use your countermeasures, you will hear the countermeasure deployment sound, and you will see the status change from ready to wait as it recharges. Now we'll look at locking onto someone else using heat seekers. When you begin to lock onto someone, you will get the target tracking tone, and you will see a flashing box around your enemy on the HUD. When you get a good lock, you will hear the target acquisition tone, and the solid box will appear around your opponent. The guided missile works the same way as heat seekers, the only exception being laser designated targets. They will appear with a double box around them. That's it for this session. Next time we'll look at basic dogfighting and ground targeting. Alright, see you guys next time. Aim high. Theory out.